All right, we're live streaming,
Wow.
I think. All right,
How many people are here?
um,
Oh,
it says we're redirecting to the live stream right now.
okay. Custom live streaming. Okay, sounds good. So I'll just wait a couple of minutes for people to turn. It's not even, what time is it? It's not 4 o'clock. We got to wait another minute, one more minute, probably.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, we're live.
We're live.
Yeah, I actually see it. This is the first time we've done this.
Cool. Is it just you and me, or is there other people here?
Other people are watching from YouTube. So I'll be able to kind of monitor and see everyone hopping on YouTube.
You can't see how many people are there, though, can you?
Current viewers, we have 18.
Oh, okay. So let's give a pause for a few minutes. Just
Okay.
to get a chance to sign up. I'm here in my bedroom in San Diego.
You have 4 likes already, too. That's kind of cool.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Glad you're tuning in live. And we'll be with you. We'll get started in just like a minute. So you can see as people come on, you can see it.
Yeah, and people are talking to us. Hello from Australia. Hello. They could hear us and see us fine. They're all here.
Terrific.
You can get started. Go for it.
All righty. So, excited to do this masterclass. It was a great idea that they proposed to me because I love to get out and reach people and give people good information. And I know that my experience over the last 35 years as a physician specializing in nutritional medicine, that I tested this out, that the more people learn and the more they retain in their knowledge base about nutritional excellence, the more they enjoy doing this, applying it to their life, and the more compliant they are in the fact that they have less recidivism, they continue on that path to ultimately great health. I mean, the whole point of this is that it puts you in control of your health destiny. It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's not your doctor. It's actually the more you go to a doctor and take drugs, the worse your health is going to be. I always say, stay away from doctors. Take care of your health so you don't need doctors. I don't go to doctors. I don't even go to myself. When you're doing this thing live and you can't see an audience, you don't know if your jokes are just stupid or people are laughing at you or they're just anyway, whatever.
I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay. Anyway, the point I'm making here is this is an exciting time for me because I'm getting a much broader audience of people to really embrace nutritional excellence. And that includes a broader audience of physicians and researchers and people who are health professionals and coaches. So it's always been a major part of my life where I've even one of the original founders of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, where now there are thousands of doctors using nutritional excellence and using lifestyle medicine to help their patients. Because conventional medicine, just writing people drugs, the first thing we learn in medical school is all drugs are toxic, they're poisonous, they increase risk of cancer. And the medical profession, having a person come in with a problem and giving them a drug, because we can lower their blood pressure with a drug, we can treat their cholesterol with a drug, we can lower their blood sugar with a drug, but those aren't making them live longer. In most cases, they make them live a shorter life. Just because we can treat these soft endpoints doesn't mean we're lengthening people's lives. If we never had the drugs, maybe people would now be enabled to change their diet, lose weight, eat healthier, get rid of their high blood pressure, cut the salt out, cut the fried foods out, exercise more. If we never had diabetic medications, we have to get people eating right and losing weight. The fact that we can give them a drug means we give them a permission slip to trick them, to make it think that they're doing okay because their parameters and their blood tests look better, but they're really getting sicker. As a matter of fact, most diabetic drugs, for example, accelerate the death of the diabetic because it makes them gain weight. Statin drugs make people gain weight and become more diabetic too. Most everything doctors do also increase the risk of long-term damage. We're not like cancer. I'm saying what I'm teaching is not alternative medicine. It's not functional medicine. It's not holistic medicine. It's progressive medicine. It's where medicine should have gone. It's where medicine should be. It's that we should give people total informed consent so they know all the facts that they can take into control with their life, and they can make a choice whether they want to take a drug that causes cancer or they want to get well from their asthma or for their psoriasis or their lupus. They can get well with great nutrition. And my next series of lectures, which I hope you join me on, I think there's a 50% off sale for until Friday of this week. And I'm really excited about reaching out to as broad an audience as possible. with these classes. But the point I'm making is it gives people the actual protocols to reverse disease. And the more you understand about how heart disease develops, high blood pressure develops, diabetes develops, autoimmune diseases develops, neuroinflammation, depression, and an addiction, and how it affects the brain. And I'm saying right now that what you eat affects how you think. It affects your emotions. It affects your personality. It affects your passion about life, your appreciation of the world around you. It affects what's the best human you can become, how kind you are to other people, whether you're, agitated, whether you're involved with your narrow world in front of yourself in a narcissistic way because you're a food addict or a drug addict. And I'm saying right now here that white flour is not a food. Bagels and croissants and pizza and burgers and most of what people eat, those aren't foods, those are drugs. They act in the body like a drug. They inflame the brain, they inflame the gut, they change the neuroplasticity of the brain, they make you crave food. And now you think you can't live without it, and you think you're not going to be happy, you're not going to get pleasure in life unless you self-destruct with dangerous food. And fried foods are not only a drug, I consider them an illegal drug. In my book, they're illegal. They should be illegal. You couldn't get 10 men to tie me down to force me to put those fast foods and fried foods and commercial baked goods into my body because they're destructive to your body. Why would a person with a sound mind self-destruct and throw away their life and the beauty of living? I'm excited that I'm giving you an unprecedented opportunity in human history to live longer than ever before. And this is not a blue zone diet. Blue zones are areas where they eat healthier than the average American or the average Western European, for example, but they're only living maybe 8 years longer on the average. A nutritarian diet is scientifically designed to pick the best foods in the dietary landscape and design a dietary portfolio that blow the blue zones out of the water, allow 20 to 25 years of extra lifespan with a full healthy life expectancy, with your full physical and mental faculties intact, and aging slower, being able to enjoy the physical world around you, travel, do sports, do activities, be involved with your children, grandchildren, without having the common problems that most people have with medical conditions. I always joke around, but it's a serious thing. I love to ski and mogul ski, and I'm glad I can do it at 68, to be bombing around doing singles tennis and be jumping off jumps and spinning in the air. And I'm having so much fun because I'm in better shape now at 68 than I was when I finished medical school at 35, whatever age I was. But the point I'm making now is that I see on the ski slopes, right, all these incredible expensive condos and homes that may sell for millions of dollars, $2 million for a condo, $6 million for a house or something. Incredible that people live close to where they want to recreate. It means something to these wealthy people. And I'm saying for most Americans that eat like most people eat the standard American diet, they should just buy expensive condos and set them up right near hospitals. So they could just go right across to the hospital back and forth and go to their doctor visits, because their life turns into a whole event of going back and forth to doctors and getting treatments and drugs. And it's just like, that's a joke. It's one of my stupid jokes. But the point is, it makes a point that when you live like other Americans live, you get what other Americans get. I lecture large audiences and I say to them, raise your hand if you know somebody that's been stabbed by a knife, shot by a bullet even. One person raises their hand or something. I say, well, how about anybody in your family or your near neighbors or close acquaintances that had a cancer diagnosis or a heart attack or a stroke or became demented? And like everybody's hand goes up, right? And I say to these people, is that a neighborhood that you want to live in? Do you want to stay in that same risk factor and living in that dangerous place? Because it's going to eventually happen to you. And we have the ability so it doesn't have to happen to you. And most people over the age of 60 eating the American diet have cancer cells in their body, way before they have a mass that can become cancerous and be seen by a mammogram or tested by some other test or felt on the prostate, or the PSA starts to rise. I'm saying cancer starts as one abnormal cell. Right now is the time not to wait till you develop a mass or an advanced cancer, but now is the time to not let those one cells replicate and divide and create a mass or a cancer, a metastatic cancer in your body, because a well-nourished immune system has the ability to seek out, recognize, and destroy those cancer cells before they can coalesce and affect your health at all. And that's why I've designed a nutritarian diet. So people who haven't eaten so good the first half of their life now know what to do to protect themselves. Because it's not like your goose is cooked. The immune system is a miraculous self-healing machine when fed optimally. So don't baby step your way into this. Jump into it with both feet. Go full blast. Because when you do something with 100% passion and effort, the rewards become miraculous. And none of this stuff, this crap about, I just get I won't get as much pleasure in life. Shoot me right now. I'd rather die if I had to live on carrot sticks and celery, right? You know what people are saying? That they're thinking, because I speak to a lot of, I know what people are thinking. They're saying, it sounds good, it's scientific, and all this information is important, but it's not for me. It's for this guy across the street. I can't do it because I got too much, my work. I don't like eating those foods. Blah, blah, blah. They have all these excuses, right? The primitive addictive brain has all these excuses why it's okay to keep smoking and keep shooting up with drugs and keep taking junk food, and keep damaging your body. Self-destructive behavior, because they've lost the keys to the bank. Their cerebral brain is no longer in control of their actions. Their primitive brain is coming up with excuses, doesn't want to give up these addictive substances that they think they can't live without. And I'm showing people with this process of learning that not only can you live without them, but you can live better without them, with more pleasure in your life without them, with more happiness, with more passion, with more emotional wellness, and with greater taste muscle, and greater ability to enjoy life and to enjoy eating more, with the full taste and the full emotional satisfaction and the intellectual satisfaction to know you're doing good for the body at the same time, without guilt and without having to eat thimble-sized portions of food. I'm saying nutritional excellence is a blessing that gives people the opportunity to have a much happier, healthier, and more pleasurable life here too. It's called a no-brainer. Encourage you to learn more. And I know I have some questions here in the chat box, but I'm saying right now that a well-nourished immune system excites immune surveillance, gene silencing, which means we're able to silence abnormal genes that could be a negative genetic inheritance that you got. But you are not your genes, because your body controls the expression of genes. Your genes don't control what you eat. Your diet controls the expression of your genes. Your genes become the effects of what you ate, and your ability to turn on healthy promoting genes and activate the antioxidant response element to cells and turn off abnormal genes like the BRCA1 gene and GST1, BP1 gene that can cause breast cancer, for example, are turned off when you eat these healthy foods that I'm talking about. And the nutritarian dietary portfolio is the gold standard of nutritional excellence. And as stupid as this sounds, and I say it over and over again, a diet that's healthier is much healthier than a diet that's less healthy. What a stupid sentence that is. A diet that's healthier is healthier than a diet that's less healthy. But everybody's trying to convince you that a diet that's not as healthy is just as good. And you don't lose the weight. You don't get to be as strong as you could get. You don't get your full mental faculties back. You don't prevent all the damage. You don't age as slow as you can age. You don't have the greatest life to live to be 100 years old in great health when you do things halfway there and you baby step your way and you think it's when you go into this full blast, the benefits are overwhelming. I knew when I taught ice skating years ago, I used to say, you're a great skater, but if you're just doing it 90%, you're not going to get the great benefits out of it. It's only a little more to do it 100% anyway. And then you get some, great financial rewards. And the point is when you get tremendous moral reward when you go all the way. So go all the way, learn more, become an expert in nutritional science. It should be reading, writing, arithmetic in grade school, and nutritional science, the most critical factor that affords us the ability to be healthy and happy in our lives. So get rid of your cravings, your food addiction, become an expert nutritarian, be able to help and give love and coaching and care to people you care about and people in your community. And you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first to do that in order to have a real impact on people and feel so rewarded on your ability to positively affect other people. You've got to be a healthy, representative of a human being who gives out love and care and kindness and compassion to others, who's healthy and living a great, pleasurable life. So really, I'm so thrilled that you guys are here and you've embraced this message so far. And I encourage you to take it to the next step. All right, Jen, should I go on to do some Q&A, some questions people submitted, or there are comments there in the that you can view that people want me to comment or speak about?
Sure. Yeah, there's lots of comments. Thanks everyone for being here and tuning in. So now hopefully everyone has the right link and we're here live.
Do these people listening know that you're my daughter?
I'm not sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenna. I'm Dr. Fuhrman's daughter. So people want to know, can you talk a little bit about the keto diet or the carnivore diet and why the nutritarian diet's different?
Well, certainly, of course. We know that in this important things we're studying here in the next, some of the next lectures coming up, is that we can modulate our lifespan by modulating the protein in our diet. But here's the fact, I want you to write this down and make sure you really get this solid in your head, that increasing plant protein in the diet lengthens human lifespan, and increasing animal protein in the diet shortens human lifespan via about 10 different mechanisms. The inflammation it causes to the endothelial lining of blood vessels, to the production of trimethylamine oxide, the raising IGF-1, which makes cells replicate to cause cancer, the CD36 fat controller, which allows cells to spread and metastasize uncontrollably, and a host of other parameters we're talking about that cause inflammation and acidity of the body from the increased consumption of animal products. And we're differentiating here short-term studies with soft endpoints, because I can give you, a statin drug looks good at a soft endpoint. It makes your cholesterol go down and your triglycerides go down. That's a soft endpoint. We don't know that translates into a longer life unless we follow people for 30 years and see if they actually live longer. Maybe the increased risk of cancer from the statin drug or diabetic or weight gain risk will offset the benefits in cholesterol lowering. We don't know for sure. It's a hypothesis from a short-term study that statin drugs are extending lifespan. Same thing with a keto diet. You may feel better a little bit by cutting out the sugar, but you may triglycerides, you may lose weight a little bit, but we don't know if that diet is safe long-term, or we didn't know in the past. But now we have multiple studies that corroborate each other, long-term studies with hundreds of thousands of people, with thousands of deaths, looking at hard endpoints like how long people are living and what they're dying of, showing that carnivore and keto diets are lifespan shortening. And as you drop to the diets below 30% of carbohydrate calories, you see a spike in early life deaths. We're talking here about some of the most dangerous diets people can follow on the dietary landscape. There are diets that are a little bit less effective and healthy as compared to a nutritarian diet that I recommend. But a keto diet or a carnivore diet aren't even in the ballpark. They're just dangerous diets that are promoted by people who are ignorant of the nutritional science in the modern world, and one's from researchers in different parts of the world, which are all corroborating evidence to find that these things are dangerous ways to live and to eat. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that diets high in animal protein increase both cardiovascular death and cancer deaths. So we're talking here about a diet that's high in vegetables, right? And grains are not off limits. I'm saying grains because somebody asked that are grains off limits. And I'm saying it's not that grain, you can eat grains like amaranth and teff and kamut and what's it called? Wheat, buckwheat and all these, good grains, spelt but in any case, oats. But the point is that we eat most of our grains that are water cooked or sprouted and ground, not ground into a fine pastry flour and pumped up into a bread with a high glycemic index and baked with a hard crust, burnt or toasted crust. It's the way you utilize the grain. So in other words, healthy grains can be a healthy part of a diet. But of course, we're trying to get people to understand the right balance between the foods that have the highest longevity promoting effect, at the same time, to modulate their calories, to maintain their maximum degree of strength, fitness, agility, and stamina. So we're talking about being very physically fit by modulating our exercise and our calories and the type of calories consumed to maximize the human species potential, right? And by doing this, by utilizing food to maximize the human species' potential, you feel like exercising. You could work out in the gym and you don't get fatigued. You don't got to eat to keep your energy up. You're feeling great all the time. You sleep better. Your bowels move better. You feel better. And when you go to exercise, you have the power, agility, and stamina to enjoy doing that. So this is very freeing. And you'll see, you may not feel better the first week or even the second week. But as you go on and do this and learn this, don't forget, as you lose weight, you're getting healthier. And if you stop losing and you regain weight, you're getting sicker again. A nutritarian is somebody that's moving towards their ideal weight or at their ideal weight. But if you're gaining weight, or if you're losing and gaining, you're not a nutritarian. If you're not losing, you're overweight, you're not a nutritarian. This gives us the ability to feel comfortable with the right amount of calories because we feel so good. We don't have to overeat to get our energy up. We instinctually desire the right amount of calories. So our body gravitates towards our health, to the healthiest version of you. So I guess that's, there was another question about 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting. And my point here was that if you're doing 1 meal a day, you have a tendency to eat too much and stretch your stomach out too far. And you don't get great digestion when you put so much food in your stomach at one time. And the idea of intermittent fasting, where people go on 500 calories or less for a day or two, and they keep yo-yoing their weight, or even total water fasting, even though it might be utilized for a therapeutic indication like Crohn's disease, or help a person get off their asthma medications, let's say with total fasting, even though I might use it therapeutically for some conditions, it's not good for people that are overweight looking to lose weight, because it slows their metabolic rate. It almost excites their emotional eating behaviors after the excessive amount of caloric restriction. And we're trying to get people locked in to this idea of DRIPA, the champion, to behave like a champion: dedication, repetition, initiative, perseverance, and the right attitude. We're trying to get people in the right. And that means you don't want to be anorexic, and you don't want to lose weight, be so strict that you're losing weight too fast, because you're not going to be able to maintain it, and you're going to yo-yo back, be overeating again soon. We want you learning to eat in a way that you can sustain long-term and you can live with and continue to move in the best direction and stay with for the rest of your life. So with enough time, you build that taste muscle, your taste improves, you enjoy the food more, and also, of course, as you're building that taste muscle, you're learning a lot of new recipes that make this diet taste great. And you love these. Even the desserts taste fantastic. And you can eat a more substantial portion of them because they're healthy for you. All right, I'm ready for how about, Jen, how far have we gone? Is there any other good questions there we should tackle?
Yeah. So what about building muscle mass? Are you for or against people really bulking up and building muscle mass?
Well, I want people to build muscle mass and strength and agility and stamina within reason. Like, I'm a guy who's about 150 pounds, and I can bench press more than my body weight. I can do like 75 to 80 push-ups. I can ski moguls all day. So tennis players, skiers, basketball players, being great physically fit, but being a linebacker on a football team of 250 to 300 pounds is some of the shortest lifespan individuals in North America. The NOSH study showed that the linebackers on football teams didn't live very long. And these big power lifters that have to overeat calories and have to overeat animal protein to get that excessive largeness is not good for their longevity. They're shortening their life. So we want to be fit. We want to have muscles. We want to be strong for our body weight, and we want to be lean. But we don't want to be excessively large. And the diet you need to maximize growth of a human is not the diet that's going to maximize human longevity. So we want to thread that line, and I'm helping you thread that line. I'm going to help you teach on how to maximize human potential and be the healthiest version of you possible. And unfortunately, a lot of power lifters and physical trainers at gyms encourage people to eat too much, to eat animal protein to enlarge their muscle potential. And they don't realize the damage they are doing for this person's life and risk of cancer down the road. And don't forget, increasing animal products increases risk of heart attacks and strokes in a dose-dependent manner, not just cancer. So we don't want to sacrifice a person's health for excessive largeness. But I want that person to do a lot of chins and do dips and put with their body weight. In other words, be fit for your body weight, but don't be excessively large. And you can't be excessively large. In other words, I worked out with weights my whole life. I was a competitive athlete. As a figure skater, I had to lift my sister up with one hand and like throw her off. So I had to be as strong as I possibly could. And I was always weightlifting. And I'm pretty strong for my size, but I'm not going to be weighing 180 pounds because my diet doesn't let me get that large. I can be as strong as I could be at 150 pounds, and my diet style keeps me at this healthy weight and keeps me very lean because at the age of 68, I have about 10% body fat. And I say to be healthy, a male has to be below 15% body fat, and I'm 10 or 11%, and a female has to be below 25% body fat, and you, Jen, are probably like 18% body fat to 20%, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We
have another good question that I want to clarify. We have a lot of questions about acne, about asthma, about diabetes, heart disease, and you always say what is so cool about the nutritarian diet is it treats all of the above, right?
That's the subject matter of the next series of lectures that people have to upgrade to get. And I'm saying that
by Friday, if you want 50% off.
And there's pearls of wisdom. And don't just go through those. If you're not diabetic, go through the presentation on diabetes. If you don't have heart disease or high blood pressure, go through that presentation, because the gems you're going to learn from those things are going to help you, whether you have those issues or not. And if there's lectures on cancer and reversing autoimmune disease, and what I'm saying is the lecture on cancer, it's the same factors that help reverse early stage cancers. The same things that prevent cancer helps reverse early stage cancers. And not one diet to prevent cancer and different foods that now are used to fight cancer. It's the same thing. So it's the same things that fight heart disease. You're learning more principles. You're learning how to apply this. You're learning the right supplemental pros and cons, and you're learning more about the danger of certain supplements and the benefit of other supplements like K2 and omega-3. And we're talking here about having a lean body mass, more vegetables in the diet, more mushrooms and onions, but exposure to zinc, K2, DHA, and reducing omega-6 fats, where you increase the omega-3 fats so that omega-3 index is more than 5% on your body's membranes for maximized brain mass in later life and maximize immune function and lifespan. So all these factors play a role, and all these little nuances, all these little small points can make a big difference, because you get in trouble with the one thing you're off on. So learning the whole picture is valuable.
And really chasing the G-bombs, the right foods, and being stoked by them.
Learning how to cook them so they maintain their nutrients, how to prepare them rightly, knowing the right balance of what you eat each day, with the salad, the vegetable bean soup, with the blended greens and onions into the soup base, using the juice, all the different factors of how to prep the food to maintain the benefits, and develop this idea of like these anti-cancer soups that you can make once a week and keep it in your refrigerator the whole week long, and how to make this easy to do so you're not cooking every day and not working every day in the kitchen. We're eating a lot of leftovers. We're making great food, but we're eating a few days of leftovers after that. And how to extend the diet style and how to use all these tips from us people that have experience at doing this and making this pleasurable and enjoyable and doable.
So a lot of people are talking about how big of fans they are. They love super immunity. They love Eat for Life. They love Eat to Live. They love the masterclass. You talk about the dangers of yo-yo dieting, but what are like the 2 or 3 tips that you really want to give people to make this stick, to build a healthier lifestyle?
Well, the real tips I want to make this stick is I want them to develop a program that works for them and be consistent with applying it. And for example, an example of consistency is I make sure I have a big salad every day for lunch with a 9-inch salad bowl. And I usually chop it up, to fit it there. And I include both lettuce, which is full of sulfoquinavose, which supports the good bacteria in the gut, and the green cruciferous mixed in, and some scallion or onion mixed in. And I might change the dressings and change the toppings a little bit, but the consistency, the repetition, and the perseverance and the behavior over and over again. And then how well you're going to chew it. Are you going to break down those fibers in your mouth to liquefy them and to get all those valuable nutrients out of them? So I have that big salad, the bowl of vegetable bean soup, usually with mushrooms in there. And I want to use a couple of different varieties of mushrooms in that soup. And then the whipped, and maybe some fresh fruit for dessert. But the point is, I'm consistent with having, I may change my dinners. Sometime last night we had a delicious mushroom burger. We had different things I had with the different sauces. The night before I had a Thai curry sauce on a vegetable wok. I might vary my dinners a little bit. One night we just have some frozen fruit, or another fruit we have a whipped up sorbet. But the point is that lunch is consistent with that big salad every day, even though I might change the dinners around and try to go for variety in what I'm eating. But that lunch is critically important to be consistent with a big salad you chew very well. And then the last thing I want people to remember is, try to finish eating for the day by 5:30, 6 o'clock. So if you go to bed 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, you don't eat from 6 to 10. You empty out your body and you let your body rest, digest, and heal through the night. So eat right. Remember, we're a green vegetable dependent animal, and don't go to bed on a full stomach.
So in the next 10 modules, you really talk about disease specific and how this diet reverses disease and helps people reach their ideal weight. What are some favorite instances where you've actually seen the nutritarian diet work, fight disease?
I wrote that book, Eat for Life, and I put a success story at the beginning of each chapter, at the beginning and the end of each chapter. So out of the 10 chapters, I have like 20 success stories. I could throw, I have 500 of those on the website. But some of my exciting success stories were all the people that have completely recovered from multiple sclerosis, from lupus, from psoriasis, and from rheumatoid arthritis. These serious autoimmune diseases make doctors prescribe drugs that cause cancer to people, and they ruins their lives. I had a girl on the National Renal Transplant list, a young woman, waiting for a new kidney because her kidney was destroyed from lupus. She had a creatinine of 4.2. Her kidney recovered completely. She didn't need the kidney transplant. Her creatinine went down to 0.8 and her lupus disappeared. People with psoriasis, with lupus, with asthma, with Sjogren's syndrome, and all types of digestive disorders. But we're talking here about saving people's lives and giving them back a healthy life and a great future. Like I had another young woman who was missed 3 years of school because of her headaches were so severe. And they hospitalized her in Brigham Young in Boston. And they tried even experimental drugs to break her headaches. And I said, you can't drug yourself out of a headache. You've got to, because the headache itself is the body pushing toxins out of the brain to mobilize them that causes pain. We got to stop all these toxic drugs and get you in good health. And of course, she made a recovery by the time she was a senior in high school. She was on the school's track team and running for the class president back in school again. And she had a successful college career and now has a wonderful job with kids. She didn't even have a life. She lived in bed for 3 years when she was in high school, had to miss school for 3 years. We're talking here about the incredible reward and the power you have to give people back their life again. And I want to emanate that power to you and give you those superpowers. People all around should have those superpowers to help people in their communities. And they only have to learn it, apply it, get well, and all of a sudden you become a magnet for people wanting to say, how did you lose all that weight? How did you get rid of your diabetes? How did you feel so good? How did you used to have fibromyalgia and headaches and colitis, and you had joint pain and back, and now you're feeling so great and look so great and so much younger. And the most ridiculous thing I'm claiming is I see people actually slow aging and even age backwards as people are denying that possibility, but we measure it. We measure telomeres and epigenetic changes and methylation defects, and we show and body numbers, and we see people actually slowing the aging process. And in many cases, they actually aging backwards, and as they start adopting this super healthy way of eating.
Ready for the last question?
Last question, sure.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, do people have to be 100% compliant to get rid of cravings, reach their health goals, reverse disease? They have to be 100% on the nutritarian diet.
It depends on the individual. Some people do, and the worse your diet is and the more of a food addict you are, the more it helps to be 100%. Because when you dabble in like 95, 90%, it sucks you back into your addictive cravings. It sucks you back into that world of always stressing yourself out, saying, what should I eat? And I should eat that. It's not good for me, but I'm going to eat it. And the more you eat it, the more it pulls you to want to eat more of that stuff. And it makes it more stressful, more difficult if you're an addict and you're dabbling in alcohol, cocaine, or dangerous foods and self-destructive foods, even in smaller amounts. It just makes you want more. Whereas people who are not food addicts and can have things that aren't 100% and still be doing this enough to get all the benefits, and they're only going to have something like that, once a week or once every other week, it's not a big deal. But if it sucks them into wanting more, then it's not good for them. So we have to figure out who you are and what you need to do. But for most people, my experience over the last 3 decades is this: when you have a medical condition you want to get well from, every day counts, every meal counts, every mouthful counts. And why slow down the process of getting well and self-sabotage? Because it's fun doing this 100%. And the recipes we've developed taste fantastic. And we're joyfully excited about eating this way. We don't need to dabble in conventional foods just because you have this memory and this idea that you were longing for those foods and emotional attraction you had for them. After you do this a while, you realize you're going to lose that emotional attraction. And when you start eating them, you're going to realize you don't even like them anymore. They don't even taste as good as the foods you can make now that are healthy versions of ice creams and muffins or desserts. Or, in other words, what I'm saying right now is this is not going to be a question you're going to need to know about. Because if you really do this, you're going to find out this is the way you prefer to eat. And whether you do it a 98% or 100% is going to become irrelevant. You're going to prefer to eat this way most of the time. All right. Good luck, everybody.
Just so you know, there's 1,000 people on this live that you've been talking to, which is pretty cool.
1,000 people? Oh my goodness. Good thing I didn't tell too many dirty jokes.
I'm grateful for that as well. Thank you. And this is all being recorded right now, so we could send out the replay in case you guys missed it.
Fantastic.
And don't forget, if you guys want to learn more about disease and interact more with Dr. Fuhrman, will you be there in the masterclass? I think you're the guy. You get 50% off till this Friday, so that's your last chance. Right, Dad?
All right. Good luck, everybody. To your good health.
We're rooting for you.
Perfect. That was 35 minutes. That was good. Good length.